I used to spend a lot of time seeing people with crazy ass PCs and really wanting one myself, and knowing that I probably wasn't going to get to that level was kind of disappointing. Now I'm at a point in my life where I'm doing alright. I've got a pretty nice PC, and this is my setup. So we're going to go through my Barracks PC today, and we're going to see what it's all about, my setup, and the stuff I like to use. Starting out, we have my PC itself. Is an NZXT A6 flow case. This case is awesome, it looks great, and has a ton of airflow, so thermals really aren't a problem. I threw in an ASUS TUF Z790 motherboard with a Core i5 14600K. The GPU is an RTX 5070. I know the stigma around 50 series GPUs right now, I get it. This is what I have, so it's going to be what has to be dealt with. The storage in this PC is a 1TB NVMe WD Black Series SSD. It's great. I love it. No problems. And I also have a 500GB SATA SSD. You know, it is what it is. The RAM is Kingston Fury Beast DDR5. It's 5200 MHz. Really nothing to bat an eye at. The AAO is a Thermalright Aqua Elite 360, I think is what it is. It's an awesome AAO. My old one died on me, and that's a story for another time, but this is what works great. The power supply is a Corsair RM850X Shift. Pretty awesome power supply, unique port selection, and like orientation. So I really like it, and I'm sure it'll work for a lot of cases. Some cases don't really accept it, but this one accepts it just fine. The fans are a mixed bag. You know, you kind of get what you get around here. They're different brands. There's Thermalright, there's NZXT, and there's Corsair in this case, but they all work fine. Again, thermals are not even an issue in this thing. Honestly, it's a pretty stout setup. This all in all is a really awesome looking PC. I love the black and white setup. It looks great. The RGB is perfect because really I only keep it at white, and you can adjust the dimness through Armory Crate on pretty much everything. It's really awesome. I definitely recommend all of these components. They've all worked great for me, and they will continue to work great. I have had literally zero issues with this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the setup, like how it all meshes together so well, but it just works. It's been super reliable, super awesome, and has caused me almost zero headaches, so that's a plus. The dreaded 50 series cards. I get it, the 9070 XT is a better option, but this is what I could get my hands on for retail at the time. I know I've heard about the missing ROPs and everything else about that. This card, perfectly fine, has all its ROPs, runs great, thermals are great. That 3-fan tough setup is awesome. It's a huge card though, and it does come with a anti-sag stand and works great, so I really don't have any issues with it. I do get why some of the 50 series hate is happening, some of the false claims that happen with it, but this thing works great for me. Now comes my favorite part of this all, my displays. On the left, I have a ROG 27-inch 240Hz OLED. It is literally perfect. If you've never tried an OLED, you've got to try one out. I have had no issues with this thing. I'm very careful about burn-in with it as well, so that's something you really got to pay attention to. And on the right, we have a Samsung Odyssey G3 24-inch. I have it in a vertical setup, but really when you're looking here, you can see the difference between an OLED display and a standard IPS panel. This thing looks incredible. The colors are super deep, it's super responsive with a 0.03 millisecond response time on the OLED display, and I have had no issues. I love this thing. I know there's different options out there. This is the one I went with, and I really like it. So if you're thinking about an OLED, definitely try one out. I really wanted to take a second here to just show off really what this display looks like, and just look how crispy that is. This is it running Counter-Strike 2, obviously stretched resolution, that's the way I like to run it. It's super responsive. Colors are super vibrant, you can change the color profiles on it, which I really like. I don't use the variable refresh rate just because of that OLED flicker. Even if you have the reducing on, it still flickers sometimes. It's just something you have with an OLED. The thing about this setup and this PC configuration is on games like this, and most games, even using DLSS and FrameGen, it still caps. So it's great. I have no issues with it. Another big thing about this display is just really how bright it gets. Even with a glossy screen in a bright room, you really don't get much reflection from it, and I really enjoy it. The glossiness makes the screen pop way better. Sometimes the colors are a little bit oversaturated, but really nothing to be worried about. It's a beautiful display. I have it on a J5 Create gas adjust monitor mount, so I can really move it as close or as far away as I like it. I usually run it pretty close to the desk, and then I can look down, and it's just really a comfortable configuration for me, but it really depends on what you like to do. I understand peripherals are such a big thing on a per person basis, but these are mine that I really like. For my keyboard, I'm using a glorious GMM K365. It's an awesome keyboard. It's super creamy. The switches are awesome, and the hot swappable switches just make it so much better. I'm running orange switches for my WASD, spacebar, shift, and a couple number keys just because I like the tactile bump. The rest of them are linear. Typing on a linear keyboard takes some getting used to, but honestly, I really like it. It's super smooth and a lot quieter than the super loud and annoying clicky switches. It's a great keyboard. The wire is super flexible, the cable is super flexible, just everything is great. It's got a volume adjustment knob, and it's got RGB if you're into RGB. I'm not really into RGB, so it's on a per person basis. The mouse. I love this mouse. This is a Rocket Burst. Rocket's dead. They got absorbed by Turtle Beach, bought out by Turtle Beach, whatever. This Burst, I've had this thing for about a year and a half now. I have found literally no mouse that I like better than this. It may just be the size of my hands. It may just be the way the mouse is shaped. It feels super good. It fits my hand perfectly, and it's just a great mouse. I usually use it over cable just because I hate having my mouse die in the middle of games, and with a flexible cable it's really not an issue. But it is a great mouse. 100% recommend if you can find them. I'm not sure if the Turtle Beach variant is as good, but as you can see, this thing is just smooth. I use it on SteelSeries mouse pad. I just use like a normal gaming mouse pad. I know a lot of people like hard mouse pads like the Logitech one or the glass Super Glide ones. I've tried out the hard plastic ones, and my aiming just really doesn't feel as precise, and especially on games like Counter-Strike, COD, and Tarkov, Arena Breakout, like all that kind of stuff, I like my aiming to be super precise and crispy, especially since I use a lower DPI. I like that hard friction stop. I understand if you're using a fast DPI, it probably helps you a little bit more having a hard friction stop, but I just really like this a lot. I have no complaints about this mouse pad, anything. And while we're on the talk of peripherals, my audio peripherals really aren't anything crazy. I use a Razer Leviathan as like my desktop audio. It's a pretty good soundbar. It's pretty great. I have no issues with that. The Razer Barracuda headset though, this has been the most troublesome, worst headset I have ever had, and unfortunately I have to use this to record this audio right now because I don't have an XLR adapter. Once I get that, this headset is going away and I'm getting something better, like some Sennheisers or something like that, because these are just terrible. They always cut out, they're super glitchy and not great, so avoid the Razer Barracudas. The X's, no matter what, had problems with all of them. Just don't get them. Now to the thing that almost everybody cares about is how it plays games. I have really no issues with this setup running games. I did have a weird hiccup with the GPU when I did try to overclock it, that my performance got worse. Undervolting it instead of trying to just throw an overclock on it and see how it did actually really helped my temps, and I got really pretty consistent frame rates. Really no issue here. Here running CarX on max settings 1440p, I'm still capping out the screen and it is beautiful. super responsive, and super buttery. I haven't used my vertical display for really gameplay that much. I had it for a little while, and it just, nothing compares to the OLED. Playing games with this setup and the OLED is great. I understand these are out of people's price range. OLEDs are really honestly expensive for what they are. They're super good, but there's also a lot of good non-OLED options out there that you can get away with. I also understand everybody's budget is different, and not everybody can just afford to build a crazy PC, and this was not built in a day. This has been built over the course of a couple months, like we'll say 6 months, just getting everything put together, everything right, and just really looking for deals too. When you can find deals out there, you have a lot better chance of finding some really good stuff. At the end of it all, there's a lot of ways to build something in your price range that are going to be good. You're not stuck with pre-builds. There's a lot of good tutorials out there. I learned a couple PCs ago building them. You know, you don't have to buy brand new parts. You don't have to buy the craziest new thing. And there's always better options out there. Obviously, with a good example being the NVIDIA versus AMD argument, you can see where that stuff falls. Overall, it's a great PC. I'm having fun. That's the important thing. And I think a lot of people can have fun if you just get out there, you can learn to build it, and have a great time.